Good morning, travelers. Get ready because today we're going to a city that looks like something out of a sci-fi future, but at the same time breathes ancient tradition, Tokyo. Japan's capital welcomes over 14 million international tourists every year. Here you can find amazing skyscrapers, historic temples, cutting-edge technology, and lively neighborhoods. Today we're going to explore Tokyo in a competition format with a ranking of the 10 most visited places in Tokyo, counting from number 10 to number 1. So stay until the end because in first place, a site that is a global symbol of Japan awaits us. Ready? Let's start with this top 10. In 10th place we have Ueno Park, one of Tokyo's most famous green spaces. Opened to the public in 1873, it was one of Japan's first city parks and has since become a meeting place for families, students, and tourists. This park is especially popular in spring, when the cherry blossoms or sakura bloom and thousands of people gather to do hanami, which literally means flower viewing. The sight of over 1,000 cherry trees in bloom creates one of the most beautiful scenes in the city. Access to the park is free, though inside you'll find museums like the Tokyo National Museum and the National Museum of Western Art, where tickets cost between 500 and 1,000 yen, about 3 to 7 euros. There's also Ueno Zoo, the oldest zoo in Japan, opened in 1882, with an approximate cost of 600 yen, about 4 euros. A very striking detail is that this zoo is home to 2 giant pandas who have become true national stars. The excitement to see them is so great that there are often huge lines. Ueno Park is also a place of historical memory. One of the bloodiest battles during the Boshin War in 1868 was fought here. In 9th place stands the impressive Tokyo Skytree, the tallest tower in Japan and the second tallest structure in the world, at 634 meters high. It opened in 2012 and quickly became a new symbol of the city. The tower mainly works as a TV antenna, but its big draw for tourists are its observation decks, the Tembo deck at 350 meters and the Tembo Galleria at 450 meters. From there, you can see all of Tokyo, and on clear days, even Mount Fuji. The entrance costs around 2,100 yen, about 13 euros, for the first observatory and 3,100 yen, about 20 euros to access both. It might seem expensive, but the experience of seeing a city that seems endless is truly priceless. An interesting detail is that its height, 634, was not chosen randomly. In Japanese, numbers can be read in different ways, and 634 is read Musashi, which was the historical name of the region where Tokyo is located. In addition, the Tokyo Skytree has a gigantic shopping mall at its base, panoramic restaurants, and even an aquarium. At night, the tower lights up with different colors and patterns, becoming a visual spectacle that shines over the Tokyo skyline. In 8th place, we have a spot that isn't a building or a temple, but one of the most famous intersections in the world, Shibuya Crossing. This pedestrian crossing has become an icon of Tokyo, thanks to images of hundreds of people crossing at the same time from all directions when the light turns green. Shibuya is one of the city's most vibrant neighborhoods, full of fashion stores, restaurants, karaoke bars, and nightlife. From Shibuya Sky, an observation deck on the rooftop of a nearby skyscraper, you get a spectacular view of the crossing and the entire illuminated neighborhood. Entrance to the observation deck costs around 2,000 yen, about 13 euros. A striking detail is that this crossing can move more than 3,000 people in each traffic light cycle, making it one of the busiest pedestrian crossings on the planet. Very close to the crossing is the statue of Hachiko, the loyal dog who waited for his owner every day for almost 10 years, even after his death. This story touched the Japanese so much that today the statue is a very popular meeting point and a place full of emotion. In 7th place, we have a spot that mixes tradition, food, and a unique atmosphere, Tokyo's famous fish market. Until 2018, the big wholesale market was in Tsukiji, a legendary place for its tuna auctions and frantic atmosphere. Today, those auctions have moved to the modern Toyosu market, but the Tsukiji area is still full of life thanks to its street food stalls and restaurants. In Toyosu, you can watch the tuna auctions from glass galleries, and it's amazing to see how a single bluefin tuna can sell for millions. In fact, in 2019, a tuna reached a record price of 333 million yen, about 3 million euros. Entry to the market is free, but if you want to enjoy sushi at its restaurants, prepare between 2,000 and 5,000 yen, about 15 to 35 euros, depending on what you choose. And believe me, the sushi here is considered some of the best on the planet. Meanwhile, Tsukiji has transformed into a place full of small shops where you can try seafood skewers, tamagoyaki, which is Japanese sweet omelet, fresh oysters, and other typical dishes. The atmosphere is chaotic, full of smells, vendors' shouts, and curious tourists. A detail that always surprises is Japanese punctuality. The markets start their activity before dawn, and by 6 in the morning, they are already in full swing. So if you come, getting up early is a must. In 6th place, we have the Meiji Shrine. Opened in 1920, it is dedicated to Emperor Meiji and Empress Shokin, who modernized Japan in the late 19th century. The shrine is located in the middle of a forest of over 170,000 trees, donated from all over Japan and even from other countries. Entering this space is like being transported to another world. Admission is free, though there is a small museum and inner gardens that cost about 500 yen, about 3 euros. Here you can participate in traditional rituals or witness Shinto weddings, where the bride and groom parade in traditional Japanese attire. One of the most impressive elements are the enormous torii, those wooden gates that mark the entrance to the shrine. The largest one is made of 500-year-old Japanese cypress. This shrine was completely destroyed during the bombings of World War II and rebuilt in 1958 thanks to citizen donations. It is one of the most visited sites by locals on New Year's to offer their prayers.
In 5th place, we arrive at Odaiba, an artificial island in Tokyo Bay that combines modernity, entertainment, and spectacular views. Originally built as a defensive fortress in the 19th century, over time it transformed into a center of leisure and technology. Here you can find gigantic shopping malls, interactive museums like Team Lab Borderless, whose entrance costs about 3,200 yen, around 22 euros. This immersive digital art museum offers experiences where projections move with you and create almost magical environments. Odaiba is also home to the famous replica of the Statue of Liberty, the enormous 20-meter Gundam unicorn robot that lights up and transforms in front of visitors, and the Daikanransha Ferris wheel, which at 115 meters high offers an incredible view of the bay. Access to Odaiba is often via the Rainbow Bridge, a suspension bridge that lights up at night with changing colors. Walking across it or taking the train is an experience in itself. In the 90s, there were plans to turn Odaiba into a large futuristic district of offices and luxury residences, but the Japanese economic crisis halted the project. Today, instead, it has become one of the most fun and photogenic spaces in Tokyo. In 4th place, we find the paradise for anime, manga, and technology fans, Akihabara. This neighborhood began after World War II as a black market for radios and appliances, and gradually transformed into the world center of otaku culture. Today, its streets are full of electronic stores, video games, collectible figures, and themed cafes like the famous maid cafes, where waitresses dress as anime maids and treat customers as masters. Entry to the neighborhood, of course, is free. But the hard part will be resisting the urge to spend. From retro consoles to the latest tech gadgets, you can find absolutely everything here. There are also entire buildings dedicated to arcades, like the famous Sega Akihabara, where you can spend hours playing. On Sundays, when traffic is closed, the avenues fill with pedestrians in a festive atmosphere. It's also common to see cosplayers walking freely, turning the area into a spontaneous parade of anime characters. Akihabara also has its historical side. The neighborhood was named after Akiba, a protective deity against fires, since Tokyo suffered major disasters of this kind in the past. Today, paradoxically, it is a place full of neon lights, cables, and giant screens. For many travelers, this place is like an urban amusement park where Japanese pop culture comes to life on every corner. In 3rd place, we have the Imperial Palace, the official residence of the Japanese imperial family. Built on the former site of Edo Castle, this place was the heart of the Tokugawa shogunate from the 17th century until 1868, when the capital moved from Kyoto to Tokyo. The current palace was rebuilt after World War II, as bombings almost completely destroyed it. Today, much of the grounds are closed to the public, but you can visit the East Gardens, which are free to enter and beautiful in any season. Interestingly, the palace opens its doors to the general public only twice a year, January 2nd, for the New Year's greeting, and February 23rd, the Emperor's birthday. On those dates, thousands of people line up to see the imperial family greet from a balcony. The gardens feature remnants of walls, defense towers, and a water-filled moat, reminding us that this place was originally a fortress. One of the most photographed spots is the Nijubashi Bridge, which connects to the main entrance and is perfectly reflected in the water. In second place, we have Sensō-ji Temple, the oldest and most visited Buddhist temple in Tokyo. It was founded in the year 645, which means it has over 1,300 years of history. Legend has it that two fishermen found a golden statue of Kannon, the goddess of mercy, in the Sumida River, and although they tried to return it to the river several times, it always reappeared. So a temple was built in her honor. Entrance to the temple is free, and the first thing that stands out is the imposing Kaminarimon Gate, with its huge red lantern almost 4 meters high and weighing over 700 kilos. Behind it is Nakami's Street, a passage full of traditional shops where you can buy souvenirs, Japanese sweets, and kimonos. The main temple, with its curved roof and red and gold decorations, is a spectacle in itself. Next to it rises a 5-story pagoda, a symbol of spiritual balance. Every year, millions of people come here to seek good fortune, wafting incense smoke over themselves or consulting the famous omikuji, the fortune-telling papers. Sensō-ji Temple has survived earthquakes, fires, and bombings, being rebuilt several times. Today, it is not only a religious center but also a cultural meeting point that sums up the essence of Tokyo: tradition, spirituality, and bustling life. And we reach the top spot in this ranking, Tokyo Tower. Inaugurated in 1958, this observation tower, inspired by the Eiffel Tower, is one of Japan's most recognizable symbols. At 333 meters tall, it was for decades the tallest structure in the country, until the arrival of Tokyo Skytree. Interestingly, its red and white color was not an aesthetic choice, but a civil aviation requirement so it could be seen from airplanes. Over time, this combination became part of its iconic charm. The tower has 2 observation decks, the main one at 150 meters and the special one at 250 meters. Admission costs about 1,200 yen, around 8 euros, for the first, and up to 3,000 yen, about 20 euros, to go to the top. From there, the views are spectacular, especially at night when Tokyo shines like a sea of lights. At its base is Foot Town, a complex with shops, restaurants, museums, and even an aquarium. Additionally, the tower constantly appears in movies, anime, and Japanese series, making it part of the world's collective imagination. A curious fact is that Tokyo Tower was built with scrap metal from American tanks from the Korean War, giving it a very unique historical background. For many visitors, climbing this tower is not just a tourist experience, but almost a ritual, feeling that you have reached the heart of Tokyo. And so we conclude our tour of the 10 most visited places in Tokyo. From the tranquility of Meiji Shrine to the dazzling madness of Shibuya, from the ancient past of Sensō-ji Temple to the stunning modernity of Tokyo Tower, this city is a unique blend of tradition and future. If this virtual journey has inspired you, imagine what it would be like to be there, walking under the cherry blossoms of Ueno, getting lost among the neon lights of Akihabara, or looking at Mount Fuji from the top of the Skytree. So now you know, if you enjoyed this tour of Tokyo, support me with a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you don't miss the next episodes, because we still have many cities to explore together. Tell me, which of these places would be your first stop in Tokyo? I'll read your comments. Until the next trip, fellow travelers.